the mics appear to be substantially better than the ones we had in Oban for the T-tip Hustings, so you're miles ahead of the game. Also, the refreshments are substantially better too, so thank you so much for that. I would take issue with the introduction. I was called the Tory candidate. Our party name is the Conservative and Unionist candidate, and I'm very proud to say that. I'm, of course, an island man. I'm from the island of Ireland. I'm not a Mulloch, but I'm an Ela, and I would never accuse the two islands of being the same. What I would say is, we share similar problems. Now, myself, I'm a farm labourer. I left high school, state education, went to work as a farm labourer at Craignure. Very nice farm, actually, good people. And I then took over the post office at the age of 17. I've been running it now 11 years. And I know all too well the problems island communities face when the ferries don't come in. No papers, no bread, poor broadband service, god-awful mobile phone signals, those annoying roaming charges that keep telling us we're in Southern Ireland. I had no idea that my bedroom was part of the 1922 partition, but I'm glad I know now thanks to Vodafone. Really, this is an important election for us. Ever since the referendum, I have been delighted to see people of all political persuasions turn up to these events en masse. Now, Mull has always had a good, in my opinion, very good turnout in Hustings in the past. However, this looks even busier this time, so thank you all for attending. It is a great thing to see. Now, we might hear from the other candidates about very different issues, and they'll have their own take on the election. What I would say is that the Lib Dems have been in this job now for far too long. They've been in Argyll for far too long. It's time we saw change. It really is. Now, you can pick the Nationalists, and he'll be giving you plenty of reasons as to why to vote for him. And he may have some good points. I don't believe in this party political partisan mudslinging. It's not for me. What I would say is that I am from the islands, and I'd like to be for the islands, and I think it's time for the right type of change. When I first got interested in politics was when my local area had a 5-day-long power cut, and 5 weeks, wasn't it? I'm trying to think now, how long was it? 5 days with no power, up to weeks upon weeks upon weeks, no water for 3 days, issues with every public utility going. And I said enough was enough. That's when I took an interest in politics. And I was lucky enough to speak in front of the Scottish Affairs Select Committee, and I saw the power Parliament has to make people's lives better. And I wanted to think sense here in Argyll and Bute, because too much of Scotland's money is being spent in the Central Belt, and we in rural areas and rural islands are not getting a fair allocation of those funds, and that needs to change. Now, there's a lot of talk of this tactical voting. Now, I could say, with some comfortable amount of support, that all unionists are backing the Conservatives. There is evidence to prove that. The Helmsborough store we've recently set up, the campaign HQ, is run by former Labour and Lib Dem supporters. However, what I would say is, this is a general election. We keep getting told that it's not a rerun of the referendum. So it's time for both yes and no supporters to back a candidate that will be best for them. And I feel that we are best for Mull. I think it is time for the right kind of change, and I hope you will give me your support. I'm a profiter's son myself. My brother's a fisherman, my mum's a nurse. I come from a rural background, but not particularly wealthy one. I know all too well the challenges we face here in rural Scotland. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll happily take any questions you have.